Ludus Full Pez.
Welcome to Ludus Full Pez. My name's Kirsty,
And I'm Phil.
and today we're going to run through how to play Overgrowth. This little piece of art here.
This one here. It's designed by us.
And Mike.
And Mike.
Mike couldn't be here today, unfortunately.
So although this is episode 4 of our design guide or design brief, we've not got our design hats on today because this is much more what we do. We're going to do a playthrough video, so you get to see Overgrowth being played. You get to have an idea of how it plays, and hopefully by the end of that, you'll maybe be interested in picking up your own copy. But I don't want to make this into a sales pitch, so Kirsty,
So let's carry on.
should we take them down to the table?
Let's do that.
Okay, Danny.
For setup of the game, each player receives a little velvet bag. You remove 25 of the tokens from the velvet bag and hand them to each player. Inside the bag there is also an action selection marker which matches that player colour and shape. You place those on each of the Overgrowth icons that are nearest that player.
Okay, now the next thing you'll be doing is choosing one of these starting spaces in the shaded area to place your starting token. That will determine where you're going to get a path from.
It's important to note that in the shaded area there can only be one of each colour. The shaded areas are here and here, so there will always be one empty space in the shaded area.
To win a game of Overgrowth, you need to have a continuous connection of your colour tokens from one shaded area all the way into the other shaded area.
Or, if neither player are successful in that victory, it's the player with the most blooms in the meadow. So area majority.
Yeah. So it's either a connection or area majority to win the game. Now, Kirsty can go first, and she will get to choose which of the shaded area space. Oh, she's already started. And actually, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to play in the middle. Now, how do you play the game, I hear you ask? So, around the edge of the Overgrowth board are 4 actions. They are repeated. So there are 8 spaces around the board and the 4 actions.
Each space is shown as a leaf grown in a vine around the edge of the board.
You can move your action selection marker up to 3 leaves, 3 spaces on your turn. So up to 3. So 1, 2, or 3. And the 4 actions that you can choose, so you can obviously choose one of 3, but the 4 actions in the game are, the first action is here, it's grow, and that allows you to place a token adjacent to any token you've already placed. The next action is cast, where you are throwing a blossom out into the meadow, exactly 3 spaces from a token you've already played. So I can go from either of these tokens and it's just a straight line, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, but it is a straight line and it must be 3. So I can't go 1, 2 and play here. So I could play there, for example. The next action is spread, where the flowers are spreading across the meadow. And what you will do is take 2 of your tokens and you'll leave them in this alignment so they will remain horizontal across the board. You can't realign them vertically. And the only rule with this is it must touch the face, so no diagonal adjacency on this one, of a piece you've already played. And there is one final action, which is the Overgrow action.
One.
I'm going to put it here.
Okay.
Because there's no corner piece. So it is the Overgrow action, which is represented by the vines as you see here. And there's one in each corner. And if you're at right angles to your opponent, like that, 2 tokens right angles to your opponent, you can overgrow them and you will remove their piece, not just from the board, but from the game. And you will replace it with one of your own. So, I'll give you your piece back now.
Thank you.
It's okay.
That is all the actions in the game. The game either runs out when one player successfully creates a path from one side to the other, or all tokens from one player have been used up. Not necessarily on the board because of the Overgrowth action, but they no longer have any tokens left to play with.
The only other thing to note is, because this is a rondel, if orange is here, blue still has to move can move up to 3 spaces, but cannot occupy the same space as orange, so it only have the choice of 2 actions in this instance. Okay, let's see how the game plays. Kirsty, you position first, you can play first.
1, 2.
So Kirsty casts.
1, 2, 3.
And I will spread.
One.
One, two, three. I'm going to cast. 1, 2, 3.
I'm not in a position to overgrow yet, and early on in the game you'll realise that the overgrowth can't really be used that much, but it comes into its strength slightly later in the game.
Does.
1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3.
I'm going to spread again. Do some blocking here. So Kirsty kind of needs to stop that wall occurring.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. I'm going to go 2 to there. I'm going to start to come up and around there.
1, 2.
Okay. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to overgrow there.
I thought you might. 1, 2. Gonna go 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna overgrow this one here.
So I'm going to spread there.
1, 2, and I'm gonna 1, 2, 3.
Casting there. Okay. And I'm going to play there.
Okay. No. I think you've won. Don't think I can stop you now. I don't think I can stop you. So 1.
And I'm going to do exactly the same
Yep.
move to win the game. So that is my continuous connection all the way down here like this into that area there. So that is how you play a game of Overgrowth. It doesn't take long, which means it's well worth having a go at.